Today I wanted to respond to one of the comments about basically essentially not being able to make a granny square. This is in response to the original granny square cat ear beanie that I made using, I believe, 8 granny squares. So basically I'm going to do a quick tutorial for you. You will need a 5mm crochet hook, scissors, and multiple colors, or you can just use a singular color, but I will be showing you how to change colors in this video just in case you would like to do the same. Also, you'll need a yarn needle, tapestry needle, or whichever you like to call in order to weave in your ends. You can start a granny square off one of two ways. The first way is more beginner friendly. It's essentially starting out with a slip knot and chain 4. So to do a slip knot, place your yarn like so, wrap it around your fingers twice, take your crochet hook, slip it under, and pull until it's secured on your hook. That's a slip knot. Next, you will yarn over, place your fingers down and put some weight on it, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and that's 2 chains, 3, and 4. And next you will slip stitch into that very first chain. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through. And hopefully you can see this, but in the center, that's where you would start off the center for your granny square. But me personally, I like to do the magic circle. So I'm going to undo that, wrap it around just like I did before, place it over my fingers, pull it up. But instead of pulling, I'm going to pull my fingers out, take the yarn working from the yarn skein and or ball, and wrap it around. And that's the start of the magic circle. And now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, yarn over again, and 3. And this chain 3 does count as a double crochet. So now I'm going to make 2 more double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over, insert into that magic circle, yarn over and pull up. I should have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert through hoop, yarn over, pull up 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And now I'm going to chain 2, and that is our corner. 1, 2. And notice that I keep moving my hands up and down just so I can put some weight on that to make it easier to do these stitches and or chains. And now I'm going to do 3 more double crochet, and that these 3 double crochets together are called a cluster, by the way. So yarn over, insert, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, one more, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now that was our second cluster for the first row. Now we're going to chain 2 again, and again that is our corner. All corners are chain 2s. So we're going to do 3 more, and that's another cluster. So 3 more double crochet. Oops, messed up there. And it happens. Just undo it and keep on going. And now since I have another cluster, I have 1, 2, 3 clusters. I'm going to chain 2. I need 1 more cluster, so we need to start out with 4. So yarn over and do 3 more double crochet. And now I've come to the end. I'm going to pull on that since we're almost done with this round. I'm going to chain 2 for that 4th corner. And I'm going to insert it into the very top of that chain 3 space. So basically that's a slip stitch. Slip it through, yarn over, pull through, and slip it. And it's a little hard in the beginning, but just work with it. And I'm going to pull on that tail to close that up, and you can weave in the ends later. Okay, so that's our first round. We've just completed round 1. So in order, if you would like to change color for the second round, we've already slip stitched into the top of that chain 3. I'm going to chain 1 more, pull it, and I like to leave a significant amount in order to weave in so it could just be a little neater. And I'm going to cut that color, move it to the side, and pull on that just to secure it. And then I'm going to go and just leave it alone because again, you're going to weave that in at the end. I'm going to take my hook, insert it into any chain 2 space, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to take my next color. I'm going to leave a significant tail just because again, we are going to weave that in later. You don't carry it on or else, you know, the granny square will look a little strange with a lot of tail and weaving ends that are showing. So basically I place my yarn over, leaving that short and yet long tail at the end. This part is coming from the yarn ball and our skein, and I place that over the hook. So now I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And since this is a corner space, we're going to be placing 1 cluster, chain 2, another cluster. So I'm going to yarn over, and that chain 3 does count as our first double crochet. That's our second double crochet and our third double crochet. And since this is a corner, we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to do 3 more double crochet and or a second cluster. 1, move that out of the way, 2 and 3. And some people like to do a chain 1, you know, in between clusters. I personally don't think it makes much of a difference, but to each their own. In this video, I will not be chaining. So after I do that last double crochet in that second cluster in that corner, I'm just going to yarn over and go to the next corner. Yarn over, pull up, pull through 2, pull through 2. And that's our first double crochet for that cluster in the corner. Second, third, and now we chain 2 since it's a corner, and 2. Now we yarn over again, insert back into the same corner space, 2 and 3 double crochet, and we stop there. Now we realize that we need to get over this part, and again, I don't chain in between. I just go straight into the next corner and or space. Yarn over, insert, pull up, first double crochet, second double crochet, third double crochet. It's a corner, so we're chaining 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do our second cluster, which are 3 double crochets. And I'm stopping here, and I need to get over this next cluster. So I'm going to yarn over, insert into the next chain space, 2 and 3. And again, this is a corner space, so we are chaining 2, 1 and 2, yarn over, go back and do that second cluster, which are 3 double crochets. And now we're at the end. Let me pull that so that hole closes up a little bit more and you can see it better. So now that's the second row of our granny square. And again, we started with a chain 3, so we're going to slip stitch just like we did on row 1 in the top of that chain 3 space. And again, it could be a little hard to see. Yarn over, pull through if it wants to work with me. Oh wow, pretty tight in there. Okay, and it happens, so just work with it. There we go. And then we turn our hook down and slip stitch back through. And that completes row 2. So again, if you did not want to change color, I would personally slip stitch all the way to the side to get me to that next corner space, just because it's easier to start from that space. Or if you don't want to change color here, you can always chain 3, 3, and just do 2 more double crochet into that same space. Just make it easier on ourselves, especially if we don't want to change color here. And again, we're going to skip over this cluster to get into this corner. No chaining. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next corner. The only time you do 2 clusters in the same space is when it is in the corner. Chain 2, 3 more double crochet, and now we have a cluster here and a space that we need to get into. So we're going to yarn over and place 3 double crochet and or cluster in that space. Okay, and now we're coming up on our next corner. So we're going to do 1 cluster, chain 2, another cluster, chain 2, and 1 more cluster in this corner. Okay, and now we need to get past this cluster, so we're going to yarn over and do it right in between these two. And this is not a corner space, so it's only 1 cluster. Okay, now we need to skip this one, and this is a corner space. So we're going to go in with our first cluster, chain 2, 1, 2, second cluster, coming back around, need to put it right in the next space. So 1 cluster. Okay, we're coming into our next and final corner space. So we're going to do a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. Chain 2, 1, 2, second cluster for the corner. And 3. Okay, we've come to the end once again, and we started out with that chain 3. So we're going to slip stitch into that very top of that chain 3. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and slip stitch. And here, if you would like to change color, again, you chain 1, pull a decent amount, cut your yarn, get that out of the way, and I'll just use a random color that I have next to me, which is black, and we just leave that one alone. And again, you can insert it into any space that you would like. It truly does not matter where you start off your next color. And again, I'm leaving a long enough tail, as you can see right there. I've already yarned over. I'm holding on to that towards the back so that I can have some tension. And I'm just going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, that does count as a double crochet. I pull on that tail just a little bit from this new color that I have, just to secure it a little bit more. And I'm going to do 2 crochets, since again that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet into this space. So that's a cluster, and I'm going to drop and leave that tail alone because I don't want to carry it along. I'm going over to my next cluster space, and we'll do another cluster here of 3 double crochet. And now we're coming up to our first corner. So it'll be a cluster, chain 2, 1, 2, and another cluster. And now we're coming up on our next space. So it'll be 1 cluster, next cluster space, corner. So it'll be a cluster, chain 2, cluster, chain 2, 1, 2, second cluster. Okay, next space, 1 cluster. Next cluster space. Coming up on a corner, so cluster, chain 2, 1, 2, second cluster in the corner space. Oh, messed up again. Okay, next space, 1 cluster. Next space, 1 cluster. Coming up on that final corner, so it'll be a cluster, chain 2 cluster. Chain 2, 1, 2, second cluster. Okay, move that to the back. Oh, it's in the way. Okay, so this is the end of the round. We're going to end it just like every other round. We're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, which counts as our double crochet. Yarn over, pull it through, and pull it through that loop. Okay, so now at this point, I'm just going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and get rid of that from the yarn ball. And this is what I have so far. So we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 rows or rounds since we went around. And basically it's the same every single round. You do a cluster, 1 cluster in each space. Only in the corners is when you do your cluster, chain 2, and a cluster. So I'm going to start weaving in these ends, and I'll meet you back after I've done that. Okay, so I'm about to start weaving in my ends. I've already put my yarn through the eye of the needle. I'm going to pull the center, which I started out with that red color. All I'm going to do is just weave it in through the back the best way I can without it showing towards the front. And you see I'm just sticking that needle through, pushing it through, making sure not to lose that yarn that was in the eye, and I pull it through. And I just do that as many times around as I feel comfortable with. Right here, I'm going to do it like halfway through, if I can get it. There we go. Push it through, but not continue all the way through. And I'm going to insert it back on itself to make a knot, just to secure it a little better. And again, I'm pulling that as tight as I can. Not too tight. You don't want to accidentally snap your yarn. And then that knot is there on the back side. So I'm just going to keep weaving in the tail. And I feel that's a pretty decent and secure since I've already made the knot. It's going around and around. And I'm going to take that off and cut it. And I would suggest cutting it as close as you can, you know, so that it's not seen. And as you can see, you can't see that, and you don't see anything towards the front. So just to continue to do that with all of your ends, and weave them in on the same color. So again, this is another red one. I'm going to weave that in, do a knot, and weave it in some more on red. And I'll do the same with the yellow. So basically whatever yarn strand that you see, weave it in with the same color, cut the yarn and tie a knot whenever you feel comfortable, and that's that. Okay, this is the front. I've weaved in all of my ends, as you can see on the back here. And you really can't tell. Whenever you weave in your ends really nice, it doesn't matter which side you use, so it's just up to you, whichever one you prefer for your project. And for the original video, for the one that I'm commenting and making this tutorial for, I did 5 rounds. So in this tutorial, I've only done 4. So you would carry on and do one more round of your clusters and doing the cluster chain 2 cluster in each corner for your 4 corners, and then you attach them. And I did 8 squares, so 4 for the front, 4 for the back, 5mm hook, and it measured out to about 20 inches or so. And the yarn does stretch, so it usually typically fits, the average head. But basically this is it. I appreciate your comment. Hopefully this helps you in order to create your own.